So why is community-based risk reduction so important?
I think true community-based disaster risk management really means making people's lives better. It's about trying to make a difference in people's lives and uplifting them through disaster risk reduction. And sometimes the outcomes of that kind of intervention, that kind of process of disaster risk reduction, is not always something that has tangible or seeable outcomes. Sometimes they're less obvious, but I'll talk about that later when I kind of give you a case study example a bit later. But I think in describing community-based disaster risk management, what we really need to take into consideration is the very often used formula, risk equals hazard times vulnerability. And into that equation, we often write in sort of the underlying capacities. So I think we really need to reflect on what we mean by that equation in the sense of a community. Yes, we need to understand the hazards in order to understand the risk profile, but I think more importantly, we need to understand the underlying vulnerabilities of the community. And just as importantly, we also need to understand what are the capacities, what capabilities does that community already have? What kind of agency do they already have in their own environment? What is it that they know that we don't know? And we need to harness that information. Because I think every single community, well not I think, I know, that every single community is very unique. They have very unique histories, very unique socioeconomic backgrounds, developmental histories, and a lot of that feeds into the way they respond to situations. And so we need to have a really intimate understanding of every community in which we work. And that's exactly the way that I work, and my trainees work, and my students also work. So I think true community-based disaster risk management needs to acknowledge this need for intimate understandings of communities. We need to understand people's lives and how they live them. Otherwise, how can we possibly understand how we can make a difference or help them to make a difference themselves? So we literally need to go into people's homes, visit them, ask them questions. And I'm not just talking about low-income communities, I'm talking across the board.